welcome to Talking Bottom Talks the Young Ones. I'm Paul Tanter.
I'm Matt Brooks.
And I'm Ange Pearson.
And this week it's the fourth episode of Series 1, Bomb, the episode that satirises the very 80s anxieties that were probably most famously represented on British TV 2 years later with the drama series Threads, anxieties that may be difficult for us now to fully comprehend just how real they were at the time, with government information campaigns running to keep the populace informed on the best ways to survive a nuclear attack. Information that was often only marginally better than useless, but still had the effect of calming people thinking there were robust plans in place should the unthinkable happen. As for the main plot of this episode, apart from the TV detector man turning up, the main storyline is that the US Air Force have dropped a huge atomic bomb on the house and it's failed to detonate. Now, what effect does this have on our housemates? Well, each reacts in much the way you'd expect. Mike sees an opportunity to make money by selling the bomb to Libya. Vivian does his best to detonate it. Rick wants to use it to blackmail Margaret Thatcher, while Neil just worries about surviving the blast. So this episode, I'm not too sure about this episode. Paul Jackson says that plot-wise it's a bit of a copy of Demolition. Feels like a bit of a middling episode. It feels like the first traditional sitcom episode that they have. It's all like, morning everyone, hey, let's have breakfast. You know what I mean? It feels like the opening of apart from the bomb falling on the house, yes, which I think is the first time in the show doesn't open with the actual opening credits. We get something before the credits.
Yeah, there's that action of it, a landing.
Not only the first thing, it's the only time that happens to
Yeah.
memory, apart from when we get some alternate credits in like Nasty and Oil, not Oil, Time. Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I think this feels more traditional than Oil. Oil does feel a little bit traditional in places, but because it's kind of repeating, it's sort of a repilot.
Yeah.
That's not traditional. That's not like a jumping on point. And also, I'd have to disagree with Paul Jackson. This is much more like Oil than Demolition.
Okay.
There's a plot device that comes in.
Maybe he said all possible.
I think the plot device, the MacGuffin that comes in of the oil or the bomb, just brings out the worst in everyone's characters in very, very similar way. So I think this episode pairs very well with Oil.
With this one, absolutely, I agree. The bomb isn't noticed for a while, which is similar to obviously the oil comes in quite late, doesn't it, in terms of the plot starting, but we can see the bomb the entire time in the background. They haven't noticed them, but absolutely it does set up, Rick's in the bathroom reading out the pollution poem.
Yeah, doing his Rick the Poet thing.
Yeah, but one thing I would disagree with in your intro, Paul, is that we can't possibly sort of know what it feels like to think that a nuclear bomb's about to drop and that there was lots of public information films and things. Like anything, you can find them on YouTube. There's loads of like really quite kind of screaming, kind of worrying things about nuclear war coming around again.
Yeah, but
that's what struck me watching this. I was like, oh wow, like actually it's so cyclical politics, isn't it? Like we're all under this panic of we're a couple of minutes from midnight right now.
You say that, but we weren't raised with like school drills in like duck and cover and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
do you know
but
what I mean?
Do you not think that's maybe on the way again? Like the cyclical nature of there's a fear that the button could be pressed.
I don't think it will happen again because now we are very aware of how useless, pointless that is, and I don't think that will work to cull the fear of the population the way it did.
Well, I don't even know if it did work to cull the fear. I think that's what they're taking the piss out of here, isn't it? It's like they're so useful, like manual about what to do when the bomb drops. Paint yourself white. They're taking the mickey out of it, aren't they? And yes, we're not living in the Cold War. It's obviously a different period of time that we're in, and we should have learned lessons from that. But what I'm saying is like you can sort of feel what it would feel like to be in the environment of like, oh, what if the button gets pressed? Because I don't think we've ever left the Cold War, really. Not truly.
I don't think now.
But the public panic status of it, I know what you're saying. Like that film Threads is horrific, isn't it? Like it's not the same.
I don't think there is a public panic or worry in the same way that there was then that led to the making of Threads. Bear in mind, then they reference it in this episode, the government was like giving out like leaflets on what to do should this happen. We've not had anything like that since coronavirus, I think. The last sort of leaflet in everyone's door. That
nuclear war wise, but I would wonder whether that kind of thing is on its way.
Maybe. I don't think the way of the leaflet is going to come around again. I think that's
it's
just
all on
an
YouTube.
Outdated mode, but we get a similar sort of thing.
Yeah, public information films will maybe be broadcast, but it's generally on YouTube. But that's what I mean. I'm just saying, like, I think actually
There's a
that feeling
comedy
of nuclear war
podcast,
has not left us
guys.
as such.
So the US Air Force drops an atomic bomb. It crashes through the young one's house. I'm just going to call it through the young one's roof, through Neil's room, leaving a big hole in his floor. So what are the guys up to?
It's in the hallway, actually. It's not in his.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. If Neil falls through a hole in the floor to downstairs,
Spectacularly.
Mike is in bed with a blow-up doll in what looks like a still photo. Do you know what I mean? You know, like when you're looking at a still image on the TV screen.
I know what you mean, but I think that's because that image is in the intro, but as a still photo.
Yeah. But I think they've used a still. I think if you watch it again, I think there's no essence of movement anywhere. Even when someone's staying still, you still get a sense of life from.
Well, to go back a point with Neil falling through the floor, in the commentary, Paul Jackson says how that was done. Is he drops down and leaves a little bit of a gap and cut to him landing in the kitchen, which is just done by Neil leaping up and only using the bit where he drops.
Yeah. Very funny.
It's very, very effective, isn't it? It looks brilliant. And then later on, Roger Sloman does it as well, doesn't he? And that's really effective as well. It's a nice little bit of. I mean, it's not even camera trickery, really, is it? It's that's how they achieved it.
Yeah. So Rick's in the bathroom doing his really deep poetry. Rick the poet is every teenager who tries poetry for the first time and thinks they're like so really deep, man.
Absolutely, isn't it? And it's one of those subjects that they think, "Oh, I've cracked this."
No one's ever talked about this topic in this way before, man.
I think pollution is really bad. And then bombs.
Yeah, I love the
bombs.
And it's just great that Rick staring down the camera, obviously him squeezing his spots in the mirror.
The shot is really, the way they start it, really tight on him. I think the shot's in the mirror initially, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then it pulls back. Yeah, really nice.
The shallow depth of field as well. It looks like it's on a film camera, and it's not. It's one of the old TV cameras, so that's
difficult to do on a.
And it is an interest. It's almost like Rick is breaking the fourth wall, but he's staring into his own eyes, isn't it? You know, it's that feeling of like he's staring right at you, but actually this is how he's performing to himself in the mirror.
I never thought of that. I see what you mean. Yeah, so
they
break the fourth wall all the time, but this does feel a little bit different. Yeah,
it's
right.
really intimate, straight down the camera, isn't it? But actually, it's him he's performing to himself in the mirror. Which is
joke that I thought was completely ridiculous when I was younger, and now just think is very believable. Guys, 2:00 in the afternoon. Maybe it's time we should get up.
Oh gosh, that's one of the most real things of student life ever.
That's
isn't
based.
it?
Paul Jackson. Paul Jackson said he once overslept a 4:00 lecture.
Yeah. Set his alarm for 2:00 because anything later than that is getting a little bit obscene, isn't it? But that's obviously brilliant detail. And I love also, obviously, again, Vivian, have you been using my deodorant? Because he's found a rogue hair on it.
And it's not a deodorant, it's a roll-on deodorant.
Yeah. Yes.
That's the lovely, disgusting thing. It's not, you're not using my aerosol.
Oh,
You're using a roll-on.
Yeah.
It's absolutely vile, isn't it? And then the brilliant upmanship of, it's probably one of the hamsters. Like, gave him a good going over with it, you know?
Yeah. Did you notice the toilet paper in the bathroom?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
I hadn't noticed it before. You notice it's a spike with newspaper.
Yes, yeah.
So
I wondered what you meant by that. Yeah. Oh God, it's vile, isn't it? Yeah, they haven't actually bought loo roll. They're using
no
that.
money, just repurposed toilet paper.
Yeah,
We'll
and the toilet itself, I know obviously they comment on it on the commentary, but it is so disgusting, isn't it?
It's not as disgusting as in Bottom, though. I think they one up the disgustingness of the loo.
I think it's on a par, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just,
it's
utterly grim.
Suitably representative of with that period of life when you're living in a shared house and no one cleans anything because they think, well, no one else does it, so I'm not going to fucking do it. You know? And
all boys together.
Shit.
So who would be the one cleaning? Neil, wouldn't it? It'd only be Neil. Yeah.
He says it, doesn't he? In is it oil when they're under the cupboard?
Yeah, because it's where the cleaning supplies are.
I'm the only one who knows where it is, even though they've only just moved in. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my brother used to hide the toilet roll when he was at uni. He used to hide one in his room. So
and
that
take it in and out.
Yeah, so that he would always have toilet roll, but he wouldn't share it because obviously it'd just get used.
Yeah,
which
no one
feels like
it.
such a horrible, selfish thing. Which but it absolutely happens.
There's a reason behind that.
Yeah, and
he's learned his lesson.
Keep your own plate.
Funny.
Yeah,
keep your own whatever in your room because you're never gonna.
Yeah,
no one does the washing up.
There, someone fucking uses it, and then you're like, well, I had that at university once. oh, you're using my plate. I need that. I want to eat my food. And they're like, but I'm using
My
it.
plate, yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but it's mine. Yeah, but I'm using it. Like, okay, then you need to find something else to put your fucking food on.
All right,
It's mine.
okay, so then what you wanted to happen with them to scrape their dinner off
They
onto
shouldn't have
another
used
plate
it in the first
Yeah,
place.
yeah, they shouldn't have. They shouldn't
yours-
have. So what should have happened is, look, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. But you're like, no, I don't want you to be doing it now. Give me that plate back.
Because
But the plate's already dirty.
I want to eat my food now.
So hang on, will you wash it up in between?
I had to wash it up.
Yeah, so they'd scrape the food off, put it on another plate, and then you'd eat off your plate, but you have to wash it up first. Couldn't you use their plate?
Was there
if
not
they
another
had a
plate?
plate, they would have been using their plate,
Yeah,
wouldn't they?
there was no other plate then.
I know they shouldn't have used it, but that's very pedantic. That's funny.
No, but I'm using it. But it's not yours. I need it. Give it to me.
That's how pedantic you get though when no one's done the washing up.
Yeah.
Was it individually labelled with a sticky label?
Anyway, so what we're saying is student life is definitely full of these petty little gripes. And then there's the phone call noting down later on as well, isn't it? It's like, it's interesting, you haven't written that down. Yeah, all of those little pedantic niggles. And it's always Rick.
Mike's completely right on that one, though, because what you talk about is a payphone. I've got a question for you guys.
Go on.
Mike said Saturday, the only lecture is Mike's biology class. Does he mean he's got a date?
Yes.
Yes, he's trying to insinuate that he's got either a woman in his room or he's going to have a woman in his room later or something. And we saw him with a woman in his room. It was just a blow-up 80s sex doll.
Oh yeah, he wants to get in the bathroom to get himself ready for whatever he has planned, but it probably is just with the doll. And then the brilliant juxtaposition of Vivian shaking the grit out of his own bed sheets. Again, this is all just leaning into the student life, isn't it, this episode, particularly in the opener.
It's a question I want to ask about that bit. When Mike is waiting and Vivian comes out and he does his bit like he's testing stand-up. He's testing stand-up material, isn't he?
Yeah, he's working on the act, yeah.
So do you think Vivian's trying to do stand-up between things? It's go down to student union and...
I think that's a little bit of fourth wall breaking that's happening there, and it is just like, oh yeah, well done. And it's interesting, I was going to say in this one, Vivian later on does another joke to try and impress Mike, because Mike's always coming out with these little one-liners and things, isn't he? And I think it is just that Vivian's actually just trying to impress Mike with these little things, and just the act's really coming on.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's meant to be reality in their world.
I feel like saying that to someone, if someone says something and they're trying to be funny, a good riposte of a way of saying that wasn't very funny is, oh, the act's really coming along well, you know? Now, it's a nuclear bomb that's dropped on the house, and this episode also features a nuclear family on a packet of cornflakes, played by the dad of which is played by our good friend Mark Arden.
And the wife is played by Kerry Jackson, the real-life sister of
producer Paul Jackson.
Yeah, which is a nice little nugget, isn't it? And do we know who the children are?
No.
No? All right.
Dead now.
They play it quite well, though. I quite like... I don't know. I mean, who knows?
I hope not. I mean...
But I like that Paul Jackson seemed to think that you would be able to get a little girl to say that kind of thing. It's like this really weird, inverted, like, family thing. And then he makes a joke about being gay, doesn't he? About, campers are rare tent. None of it makes any sense, and they all hate each other. They're not the nuclear family. They are literally at each other's throats. And that is a fun little cutaway. And that's where... the puppets don't really work, but sometimes the other kind of proper like observational stuff that is a cutaway still really works for me. And the other ones, I do like that little cutaway, especially when it's like the ketchup lands over them in real. It's really fun to have that, isn't it? It's really unusual, really well done on the sort of from the cut to the cat. That one I really enjoy.
Jeff Posner directed this one. Good work again from Jeff.
Yeah, absolutely, well done, Jeff.
The bomb in the background is completely noticeable.
Yeah.
Bright red.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Vivian has noticed it.
He's noticed it, but it hasn't registered. Yeah.
The plot now is kicking in. There's a bomb here, and everyone then brings out.
Well, yeah, Rick is like World War III.
It brings out their inner traits. It brings out Mike's desire to make money. He wants to try and sell it. Vivian just wants to hit it and try and see if he can set it off. Rick wants to use it to bring about some kind of revolution.
Blackmailing Thatcher.
And what happens to Neil? Neil's inner demons, his worries just come out. Oh God, Heavy, we're going to die.
Then they get very much sidetracked by the telly.
Yeah, so it's like put on the TV and then it's just there's nothing on TV.
Which is because presumably the bomb has knocked out their aerial.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
So it plays into there's a nuclear holocaust happening.
That's nicely logical. Yeah.
That's absolutely what's happened, isn't it? Is that their aerial.
But there's a test card that's played, not just static.
You need an aerial to get it to get the test card.
What do you reckon that is about then?
I think it's just there's nothing on TV today. It's boring, or something like that.
Really?
It's the thing of
Interesting.
that brings in nothing on TV. I don't know why we'd even bother to pay our license.
Yeah. Well, it's a fantastic thing of Rick obviously immediately going into, oh, how fantastic. I'm an anarchist. So excited. And I really love the name of the group. He's like, I'm going to be president of the people who don't pay their TV licenses against the Nazis.
This is emblematic of Rick's wonderful hypocrisy. He finds out that they don't have a TV license and he thinks this is really cool. He's going to be an anarchist against the Nazis. And then, of course, the detective van turns up. Roger Sloman, our good friend Roger Sloman, who many would know him as Mr. Harrison from Bottom, is the TV detector man. And Rick finds, and now Rick turns, just like he does when there's police around or anything, he goes from the brave anarchist to, I can't go to prison, I'll get raped.
Which is so very Rick, isn't it? Like in pretty much every iteration of Rick's characters would feel that way about going to prison. Roger Sloman, we must have a name check for the character name here, which is Bastard's the name, right bleeding. Oh, how superb is that name?
Kind of the real villain of the episode as well. And there's something like, although we can all understand the threat of nuclear war, the threat of the TV license man currently
even more panicked.
How old were you when you actually found out that the TV detector van was a load of bullshit and they're not driving around with like sensor equipment that can tell that you've got a telly that doesn't have a license? And actually, all they're doing is they got a big database of every house in the UK and they look at it and go, this house has a TV license, this house doesn't have a TV license. Chances are they've got a TV, so we'll go and knock on the door and go, we're from the TV license detective people.
I was today years old. What? They don't have an actual detector outside?
Either they're driving around with a radar in the back of a van. Like, no, because when I was a kid, I thought, oh, they're going around, they've got equipment. They know you've got a TV somehow. Yes, they know. They walk up to your property, they look through your window and they go, you got a TV
if you've got an aerial as well.
Yeah.
If a bomb hasn't dropped through it. No, I don't think I ever really thought about them driving around in the back of a van thinking this house has got a TV in it.
Well, no, they drove around in the front because that's where the steering wheel is.
Yeah, sorry. They would have had the equipment in the back of the van, you know.
Have you ever had TV license man knock at your door?
No.
I have,
think so.
And I could not help but think of this scene.
Of course. What did you do? Did you eat the telly?
I wasn't quick enough to think of that. There's a line that right bleeding bastard, it's almost a throwaway. Bastard's name, you call me right bleeding, all my friends do, or did. What do you mean? I killed him.
Yeah.
He only had one friend.
Yeah, it's fantastic writing, isn't it? And as you say, a lot of these lines are brilliant and they do sort of get not thrown away, like you do notice them, but there's not even enough time for a lot of them to breathe, is there? Again, it's that fast-paced nature of the young ones, like they're rattling through it all, aren't they? And I really do love how Sloman comes in. He's like, you little runt.
He's like, he's fucking brilliant in this episode, isn't
and
he?
is that the line where the weren't they accused of using the C word?
Oh, what?
And they'd misread.
They thought runt was...
They'd misread the R for a C on that. That must be. I don't know where else runt is used in the young ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do love... I mean, Vivian with the plug, like, you know, the wire hanging out of his mouth. It's a fantastic visual image, isn't it?
Now, was Bastard's plan to wait until Vivian passes it?
Yes.
To get the proof? Yeah.
And that's what he does say, where is your toilet?
He goes upstairs, falls down, comes... like, I'm back, and then he goes, stands outside to see Dexter's Midnight Runners.
Yeah.
And he disappears from the episode. There's no...
And then comes back later on as their landlord, 9 years later,
demanding the rent.
King Parade with a comb over.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It doesn't really wrap up, but then, of course, they get sidelined by everything else that's going on, don't they? So, I mean, I feel like we're skipping over stuff, but we have to not mention every single thing that happens because you can just rewatch the episode if we're going to do that.
Got a quote from Roger Sloman.
There's a very long escalator at Tottenham Court Road Underground Station, you know, that goes up from the depths. And I was going up it, the only person around, and there was a bloke coming down the opposite way. Just as he got opposite me, he went, "Bastard!" I went, "What? What do you mean?" He said, "No, bastard, I've just been watching you, right bleeding bastard." I said, "Oh, nice, good, yeah," because you're back in the day of video.
Brilliant. So he recognised you for your role, not your character, as in your personal character. But
I was, yeah.
I bet that's probably similar to what Lee Corns gets on a regular basis. Dickhead! What? Yeah.
That's nice. That is a nice little anecdote from Roger there. And they have said, he said it himself, didn't he? Like, I like playing those
Seedy
characters.
characters.
I play them exceptionally well, and he really does. He relishes every line, doesn't he? And he's so believable in it as an absolute, R-U-N-T replaced by C.
As one of those officious people who loves their job. Do you know what? He kind of reminds me of the guy from the Outland Revenue in Red Dwarf who turns out who wants to smash little thummies.
Where those little thummies. Yeah, absolutely. Roger could have played that as well, didn't he? And that guy plays it brilliantly. Like, we all recognise that character, don't we? And we all universally hate that character.
So this episode is somewhat inspired by Protect and Survive UK Civil.
That's it, yeah. Those were the leaflets that were given out to the population that gave them advice, and a lot of it was relatively useless, but it gave people an idea, a sense that, the government are giving us advice, they know what they're doing, there's a plan. And it was things like paint your house white to help reflect the heat or whatever. And there would be things like, this is like similar to the duck and cover thing of like, get under a table, go to the basement, that sort of thing, But yeah, this was a real thing. The government gave it out. It was like an information thing. And this was part of it. People took it very seriously. It felt like a very real threat at the time. People were really worried that there was going to be, a nuclear attack. The Cold War, Russia was yes, you're right. These things are cyclical. It's like this again now. There was danger from Russia on the doorstep of Europe, again, happening in Ukraine. Was it Reagan who was president at the time? There was like a big sort of like Cold War, but there was just the possibility always that there was just there was about to be like nuclear Armageddon. And that's that's what led to Threads, which is one of the greatest British shows ever made.
Oh, and it's hideous, isn't it, when you watch it? It's so bleak. If anyone out there listening hasn't seen Threads, it is you have to steel yourself before you watch it.
They're remaking it.
That's what they're remaking it, partially because obviously time has moved on, but because time has moved on and it's sort of achingly, horribly getting to be relevant again. I mean, Dr. Strangelove came back to the West End, didn't it, starring Steve Coogan last year, but anyway, the point being that the topic of nuclear warfare and indeed how that will affect the population it still makes your blood run cold, doesn't it, to think that in, the 4-minute warning and all that, because we actually started getting those test things through. Do you remember when they sent off like one that was incorrect in Hawaii or something as well, didn't they? Actually did get sent the warning. People started, what would you do if you got that genuine text?
I remember as a kid, near me, where I lived, they had like an old thing that was like an air raid warning, like, and they would test it every week, and they would test that in case there was like going to be a nuclear bomb coming.
We're not going to start painting ourselves white,
but anyway.
I love it when Rick finds Neil painting himself white, and there is that sort of like, racism, even in whatever. We will paint ourselves white. I love that Rick finally in this one actually is like, I'm going to write to Thatcher and I'm going to threaten her. I'm going to tell her we've got a bomb. And I love the line. It's like, if she doesn't help the kids, if she doesn't do something to help the kids by this afternoon, we're going to blow up England. But he actually does even though he doesn't go to the post office, he marches down to the DHS.
Goes to the wrong place. Dresses up basically as Che Guevara.
Yeah.
And flicks the V's at a copper who has his back to him in what I think is, I know I said it's a middling episode, and I think I still stick by that, but that image of Rick flicking the V's at a copper, I think it's become quite iconic, possibly because they used it in the Lord of Misrule documentary.
That's what's great, because it's again a very kind of almost Python, well, very Python, it's the old grannies kind of thing, isn't it, of them bashing up and ruining the not the letterbox, the phone box, and Rick actually saying like, what are you all doing? What I mean? Like, we're going to get blamed for this, the kids, and then that's interesting in the commentary, isn't it, that she couldn't actually say the word raping. But what's odd is like, it looks like she is saying it.
Dubbed it, is what you say.
But do you see what I mean? Like, it was it that she was mouthing it and the word wasn't coming out?
Yeah.
Is that what they meant? She was just saying, like,
Do you know what?
obviously I'm mouthing the word
It's
raping.
fucking annoying how much on the day, once you've hired an actor, if they don't want to do something, right, you can say we're not going to hire you again, and they could be like, all right, fine, I don't give a shit, I'm not doing it. Like actually, if they say I don't want to say that, then you're like, what the fuck are we going to do? Can we get someone else to do it? No, it doesn't really work if someone else does it.
But that's what I mean. It does look like she says it, so it's really odd that if they had to dub that.
Did she mouth it then? Well, what's her thing like? I'm not going to say it out loud. I'll mouth the word, but I'm not going to vocalize it.
Yeah.
I think it's time for a word from our sponsor.
There are rather a lot of TV detector vans in this area tonight. New, more powerful vans. If you don't have a license, they'll know just where to look for you. And when you're caught, you can now be fined up to £400. The new TV detector vans, they're in this area now.
We don't need to follow logic with it because characters from the young ones pop up with whatever they need whenever. But I do think that Rick had the Che Guevara outfit ready to go.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's all there. It's kind of like the camo, isn't it? And then like the beret and all that. Like that in itself could actually be what Rick wears all the time.
But him dressing like this, it does have certain similarities with Oil in that Rick, is brought out his revolutionary tendencies. But in this one, he's not being squashed down by the fascist junta of Mike and Vivian. They're a bit more on side on this one. I say on side. Mike wants to try and sell it to Alexei Sale, who turns up and asks him if he killed his brother.
Reggie Belowski, his brother or cousin? Yeah, he does say, "Could you kill my brother?"
I mean, he's one of the Belowskis, isn't he?
Vivian, while this is going on, is now restrained because of him trying to destroy the bomb. When he first hits the bomb with the bottle,
the lining of the red paper it's lined with comes off.
Oh,
You
does
just
it?
think, like,
Okay,
oh shit,
okay.
that's not meant to have happened. But yeah, Karen, why would he go off, Mike? Why would he go off? Who can tell?
That's the great thing about film and TV props when they're like, okay, that looks great, and okay, so we need to hit it. No, you don't touch it, touch it. It looks good, but if you touch it, then we'll see that it's polystyrene underneath or
And
wood or
it's
something.
so almost like a horror movie when Neil's talking about the bombshells and stuff, and it's like, oh, we better hurry up now because Vivian's escaped. Smashing through the wall on a wrecking board, and he missed.
Yeah, it is. I mean, like you were saying earlier, Paul, it is that they all completely go into their own characters in this one. They're very true to what they would all each individually do, and they are almost quite separate with it, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like you've got Neil trying to be I'm going to save us. I've got all that.
This up, don't they? It's like, I'm dealing with the bomb. I'm dealing with the bomb.
Yeah. And Rick's just gone off. No one's really even noticed what Rick's up to, have
Each
they?
of their own plans don't really intersect with the others, do they?
No, exactly. And that's where, I mean, it's a lot of fun because obviously they come back together and by the end of it, they're all squabbling to get under the table because it starts ticking and all that. I do think, like, Mike sort of telling Rick he's trying to look up Thatcher in the phone book, isn't he? The only time they really do interact is when Mike kind of like distracts him by giving him the porn mag, doesn't he?
Which Rick finds disgusting, doesn't he? Oh no, he calls him sick, doesn't he? You're sick,
that's right. That's a very big difference between Richie and Rick.
Yeah, but later on, he'll find that little pocket of it because in a later episode of The Young Ones, there is that Rick's
It's
like
cosmopolitan.
You say that's a big difference. No, Richie does the same thing. In private, Richie's a pervert, but actually, then if around
he
people, he'll go,
chastises
"How
Eddie for
disgusting."
parades, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Like I think he'd be silently trying to get that back off him later on. But on the sly rather than admitting that he wants to borrow the girly mag.
What do you guys think of the Rick and Nigel playing American comics bit?
I actually really like it. I find it so weird. It's almost like we've got this impression ready to go. Let's force it in.
I was trying to work out if this was a sort of slight pastiche of Rodney Dangerfield
having done
Caddyshack. Oh, do you think Rat Pack? Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a real amalgamation of what everyone, potentially not everyone, but it's what you think American performers / the style to be. I've not grown up in America. We're all British, but that kind of show is what you imagine would have been on in the 70s, right? That sort of like Dick and Dino, and we're just singing a song
every time.
Yeah, and they're on the golf course, and these just kind of like really like unfunny. Punchlines that they're delivering, but in this smug way with such white teeth. It's kind of like people are laughing along anyway.
I do like whenever they do an American pastiche, like when they do this one, or they do like the sort of Dallas Dynasty type thing. They always have the capped veneer white teeth thing going on. Yeah.
And I think, they're having fun with it, aren't they? And I know they say on the commentary, like, Rick and Nigel really enjoyed doing that bit where they came down to the audience. And it is astounding that they're actually doing that right in front of the set, isn't it?
Yeah.
And how they actually managed to do that with the audience behind in situ. And they do pull it off. But Again, I think I said it about the puppets and other cutaways. Like it feels like it just kind of slows down the
And
action.
then it's playing on the TV in the DHS office, right?
Yeah, I do like that actually works. That the reason the queue is building up in that office is that she's actually got the window closed and she's been watching that show, and then she suddenly comes back from her break or whatever it is, or just decides to turn her attention back to the queue.
It's one of my favourite Rick moments in this bit when he starts mouthing off first draft of political activism ideas, and the old man is like, "Oh, you're right," and it's so on side with him, and then he turns to the old man. Oh, of course, that's what the line's something like, "Oh yeah, it's certainly different since all these old newfangled changes." Of course they are. You seen all old gits.
There wouldn't be changes, would they?
I was only agreeing with you.
Yeah. I do really love the only reason you don't understand our music is that you don't like it. And it is, I think that is an evergreen statement, isn't it? Like older generations. But the guy hasn't said anything and Rick's laying into him, and that's what's really fun in that. It's like this guy isn't someone who's laying into him being young.
Similar to Neil, how he just, great, this person's not going to fight me, so I can have a go and I can vent.
Could be anyone stood there. Could be an old woman. You know,
and
he
also,
wouldn't hesitate.
He's emboldened at the moment because he's playing his theatre of Che Guevara at the moment, isn't he? It's performative activism that he's doing. Now that is a very 1980s joke and a very now joke as well. The performative political guys.
What we now call the virtue signals.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's they become it's their entire personality. Is that's what they're doing. They're right. They're fighting against fascism, all that kind of stuff. And I do love the telegram that he eventually writes to Thatcher, which is just Thatcher. We've got a bomb. Do what we want. Doesn't say. Or we'll blow it up, and then Anon, and then obviously she's like, I need your name and address. He says Rick 15 Credibility Street. It's the first time you hear the address, and then obviously it's because he can't get his words out with his speech impediment of Rick. Yeah. She's like Rick, and he's like, I'll just put Neil, and it's like, oh yeah, actually put Neil, because he doesn't want to be the person, and that's very similar to the don't say your own name. When they are blackmailing the Prime Minister in Bottom, obviously, when it's like, and then Eddie rings back, it's like, Richard, you bloody fool, and all that. I do really love all of that stuff from Rick there. And then obviously just that, why did she accept that he's writing a telegram when it isn't the post office? She's let him do it, and she's like, well, this isn't even the post office. Time. Yeah, exactly.
Viv comes in like a wrecking ball, which isn't actually the thing that sets the bomb ticking. It's just Rick leaning on it, and that sets it.
Yeah, after all that Vivian's been doing to try and...
After all the twatting it that he's been doing,
Yeah, it's just as easy as that. I mean, maybe it's been building up to it, and it's just that little shove that was all it would took when you've had someone trying to open a jar of gherkins or whatever, and then the final go is what gets it off.
And usually you'd think, and then the bomb explodes would be like the final episode of the series, wouldn't you? You're like, oh, we'll kill everyone. But here, it just spawns a weird toy plane that starts flying around, which is supposed to indicate that it was like the egg that spawned a smaller one. Or something
I think
like
it's that classic misdirection. Obviously, is because obviously if it blew up, that's what you're expecting. But it's like a spy plane. So there's some insinuation that it's been dropped in order to obviously hatch this little mini plane, and it is actually. It will gather some evidence, or it's going to be taking photographs, or obviously it's just.
Have you seen the end in Ed Bias says, I actually never really got the end of this bit. And then it's it's this is the blah 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 blah, but makes no sense, and Ed's like, all right. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It just misdirects what you
thought it was another mad weird thing.
Yeah. It is.
Makes sense.
So that takes us to the end of the episode. So what did you guys think overall of the episode, and any particular standout moments?
This particular episode has I think the most fun for me is obviously Rick going full on Che Guevara, as you say. Like he's in his element once he's got the bit between his teeth, and he's suddenly hit upon the fact, I can use this to blackmail Thatcher. Yeah. Like that to me is just real joy to see Rick, the revolutionary, come out, even though it's obviously never going to lead to anything. It's just really nice to see him kind of feel like he's got something to hold on to in this episode. Yeah, I disagree that it's not a strong one overall. Yeah. I like Bob.
I didn't say it's not strong. I said I think it's sort of an average one.
Yeah,
then, it still has great moments. So for me, I think one of my absolute favorite moments in this is Roger Sloman's turn as Bastard turning up. He's just so full of energy.
Yes.
I mean, and this is a cast who are great anyway. So to turn up amongst them, to stick yourself in the middle of them and really stand out.
That's
is like
it.
a
Like
thing.
I would probably personally put this episode above Oil.
Okay.
I would probably put it above Boring.
Really?
Yeah.
That's very surprising to me.
I really love the Eat the Telly, all that. I love Roger
pair this
Sloman's turn.
completely. I think a lot of series 1, each episode pairs up with another one. I think this one pairs up with Oil very much. Boring and Interesting very much pair up.
Right, yeah,
and Flood and
Demolition.
I think kind of pair up. It's the whole threat of the whole house.
Yeah, yeah.
Thing. This one I think Oil, they're still finding their characters a little bit. They've got them by now, so I do agree that this tops Oil for me just a little bit. But
and Dexy's Midnight Runners we haven't even mentioned as the song. It isn't like one of their most memorable ones, but I do feel the energy in that scene is quite fun.
But this is one of the instances where the music doesn't really do anything for the story or drive anything forward or for the characters. It's just music in the
separate,
show.
it's a music video inserted clumsily.
As you say, you've got Roger Sloman sort of watching them in a really
and looks confused
way. And then, like, do you think he's joined the band? Like, what has happened to him?
Yeah, it's strange that he doesn't turn up again.
We didn't touch upon it, but also I quite like the Kevin Turvey accent on the flies on the wall.
Yes, if I could just be a fly on the wall.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, can we just capture what it is like to be a fly on the wall? I do like that cutaway as well, and I think they're impressive, those flies. I think Ed and Paul Jackson say that they don't know if they actually look that good. I think they look great.
Yeah, you can see like the human face at the bottom, kind of the bottom of the chin, sort of the Batman.
You can see that it's Rick,
thing.
Definitely, but I think, is it
Can
Nigel?
You see it's Nigel as well, yeah. I couldn't see it's Rick. I can hear it's Rick.
You can see on his mouth, like when he's talking later on, but you know what I mean.
They're
It's
all
a short
like
sketch,
covered in face paint to match the mask.
Yeah, but I like that little cutaway. I think that's good. And then obviously Rick like killing them with fly spray, and
after being like.
He should be someone who doesn't really agree with killing it. He's a
vegetarian,
vegetarian, isn't he? You know,
stuff,
all that. He's such a hypocrite.
It's very in character of actually what he's like, but it would be surprised if Neil had done it. It'd be strange.
Yeah.
So what are your standout?
I said you said it's in character of him, and I said of him being a complete hypocrite. Someone who would be like, no, I wouldn't hurt animals. Ratty flies.
I wouldn't hurt a fly, exactly, and he absolutely would. So what are your standout bits then?
Eat the Telly by far. I also really like. I'm going upstairs to get the incredibly helpful performance in Protect and Survive manual.
Yeah, that's good. And I guess Neil's. If I had a penny for every time I answered the door,
I'd have
£5.63.
Oh, there's one we completely skipped over right at the beginning
answering.
with the kettle blowing up, and it's as if the kettle killed itself rather than be used by me.
Yeah, Neil has some really great, like, depressive lines, doesn't he?
We missed out all of the stuff with Vivian and Neil with the lentils and the.
Well, okay. I know you guys are saying, "Oh, we've missed this bit out," but like Ange said, we could, if we just name everything in the episode,
that's a nice little double act with them two. That you don't often see those two pair up.
I did, right? Yeah, I noticed that. I thought this isn't something that they usually do. The Dumb and Dumber thing with Vivian and Neil very often. It's quite Laurel and Hardy almost, or like there's that kind of setup of like the bowl, and then Vivian just chucks it, and then obviously the misunderstanding, and him just like, I didn't know.
Oh, it makes me think of the creaky,
really quickly,
the creaky floorboard in Gas. It makes me think of that. It's like, go get a bowl, okay, and then you say, Viv, to make him come back really quickly. Okay, that's made him slower. That's brilliant.
And then obviously the payoff that he just opens the cupboard and they all fall out
and
anyway.
Just as the
trying to avoid.
lentils stop pouring. This will never go round. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's loads of really fun bits in this one, and that's where I think they'd found their groove. All the characters are absolutely established. You're having fun with it. The bomb is there. We see it from, it's Chekhov's bomb from the beginning, and then it doesn't blow up. So actually, the reason that one leaves you feeling confused is like, is it just because there isn't the proper payoff?
To smash through the house and make a hole, but then it's hollow. And I'm trying to think of logic with this.
There is no logic to it. But that's, I think, you drive yourself mad trying to put logic to any of it because it's just for fun, isn't it? I think that might be why a few people maybe don't like it, because there's not a huge massive payoff moment, is there?
Maybe. Right, it's time for a quiz. It will be on things that happened in this episode. Bomb. We'll be using fart noises for our buzzers. Matt, what's your noise, please?
My noise is going to be...
Very good.
Okay.
Ange?
Can I go for that? Is that too similar? What do you
No,
say?
it's
No, I think
different.
that's
All right,
good.
okay.
Sorry.
Generally, everyone is sportsman-like enough or sportsperson-like enough to know if they pressed it first or not.
I
Okay?
like Angela furious. They're like, sportsman, now fucking dare you! I'll kill you!
You woman.
I'd
Right.
never be a sportswoman. It's fine.
Okay, here we go. Here is question number 1. What, and I'll repeat that, what is in the bathroom in place of actual toilet paper?
Oh.
Matt got in there
So
first.
it's a spike, which is hosting a load of newspaper, like embedded on it, like a kind of office.
Yeah, I mean,
thing,
I
you
just
know?
said torn
You just
newspaper.
needed newspaper, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, okay. That's one to Matt. Question number 2. When Viv and Mike are chatting in the hallway, what is visible in Viv's room behind him? That's
Chemistry
Matt.
set.
That's correct. It's a chemistry set. Okay.
Well done.
Right. Question number 3. What does Viv always do before he gets up? I think Matt just pipped that one. Sorry.
Poo.
Correct. He does poo. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Are you sure are you sure you want to stick with that buzzer? Okay. Because what I don't
Is
want
it
to happen.
too quiet?
No. I mean,
There's not a delay on it.
because on that one, I definitely heard his buzzer first. What I don't want to do is get to the end and you go, no, my buzzer's not as good as his. It's not.
Well,
you know.
no, just we were using different mediums. I mean, this is a different app as well, so I don't know. But anyway, go on. I'm going
right.
to stick with it because
All right,
otherwise
okay.
it's weird.
What episode does Paul Jackson say this is a repeat of plot-wise on the commentary? Matt.
Oil.
Is the right
yeah,
answer.
that would
So
make sense.
I said demolition earlier, didn't I? So I was wrong about that because I've
Yeah.
got oil written here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
okay,
There you go.
yeah, says it's oil. Okay, question number 5. Who is the wife of Mark Arden on the cornflakes packet? That's Matt.
So it's Paul Jackson's sister.
That's exactly what I've got written here. Paul Jackson's sister. Okay.
She doesn't have a name.
I said the name earlier. I can't remember.
Do you not remember
something
it?
Jackson.
Okay. In one scene in this episode, and I can't remember which one. In the background of the flat, there is a dead bird. What kind of bird is the dead bird?
Seagull?
Is not the right answer, I'm afraid. Sorry.
Parrot.
It's a goose. There's a dead goose in the background. Do you remember it now?
It's that white.
I don't remember that. No.
Yeah. it's like a
Where in the
white-
kitchen?
No, it's by the window, isn't it, in the living room?
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Next question. What was the name of the advice campaign or pamphlet helping people prepare for nuclear war? Matt buzzed in.
Protect and survive.
Is the right answer? Yes. Okay. Right. Next question. Mike brings in a load of takeaway food. Where are the burgers from? That's Ange.
Wimpy.
Is correct. That's a
Yeah.
point to
On the
Ange.
commentary as well, Paul Jackson chastises him for like having the full name Wimpy, and it's like, no, look, it's Impy.
I know, I love
Yeah.
that where it's like, I think that was up to you
Yeah,
to
that's
disguise
your
the
job.
branding. Yeah.
Where near the end when Neil is preparing for.
Hang on, what question are we on? And I know I've lost, but
we're
what
on
are we at?
This is question number 9.
Okay, and what are we on?
I mean, you've got 1 point. I
Yeah.
think Matt's got, I don't know,
I've
like
five,
6
at
or
least.
7. Yeah. Okay. Question number 9. How many bags of sand are on the table that Neil's prepared? So
like
Matt
4.
is not the right answer.
I mean, 5, I would
Is
guess.
correct.
It's 5,
Yes,
is it? Yeah.
5. Okay, that's
Yeah.
2 to Ange. I think Matt's still run away with this one, but here's the final question, number 10. What emerges from the bomb when it cracks open?
It's a small little spy drone, kind of little plane.
I've
that-
got a little spy plane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matt wins that one. Okay, I'll give you the tiebreaker one just for fun. Only one question. What country does Mike try to sell the bomb to? Who was it accepted?
Saudi?
Iraqis, Saudi
No.
Arabia.
Think Back to the
Russia?
Future. Who were the bad guys in Back to the Future? The
Oh, the Libyans.
Libyans.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there you go. That's
Biff. He's trying to sell his Biff.
yeah. Matt wins. Matt wins this week's quiz. Well done, guys. That
Very
was
good.
that was bomb. So next week
Next
we got.
week, interesting. The sequel to Boring, very much so, I feel, where the guys have a house party.
Yeah, I
Student
think
problems.
when you say sequel, it's like there's linked themes. I think that's probably how they maybe approached the writing of it. Like, oh, what's going to be the thing that sums it up? And I'm looking forward to interesting. I like the house party one.
They don't call an episode Liquid or Solid
No.
as a sequel to Gas or Oil. Well, Gas is that's the wrong show, isn't it? That's
You're
Bottom.
thinking of Bottom.
Yeah, I am.
Did we watch Bottom? Have we been watching Bottom lately? No, we're watching the young ones.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for listening to this episode all about Bomb. We are, of course, talking about the young ones, but we are Talking Bottom, and you can find us on all the socials at Talking Bottom. On YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on Blue Sky. Have I missed any?
I always think there's one missing, but I don't think. I
No.
think we've done them
Interestingly
all.
enough, after talking about Threads at the beginning of this, we aren't on Threads, are we? Very different
Yeah.
things. But yes, you can find us on socials. You can email us at 11maffickingparade@gmail.com. That's obviously the address for Richie and Eddie in Bottom.
Speaking of Richie and Eddie, if you are a fan of Bottom and you don't yet have the book Talking Bottom, A Guide to the Cult Sitcom, you can get it off Amazon or from your local bookshop, or reach out to us via email and we will sell you a signed copy, along with, if you want, some of our very nice tea towels.
2 different tea towels now that are full of niche, deep Bottom references, which I genuinely would like, even if I wasn't involved with making it. I think they are great, the tea towels.
Yeah, we made them with the idea of what would we like to have as fans, and I really love them.
And also got the Rick Mao Comedy Festival in its 2nd year,
where we will be doing several events. On Saturday, 30th of May, we'll be interviewing Paul Jackson on stage at the Norbury Theatre, talking all about his career, all about Young Ones, all about Bottom, playing his favourite clips, and he'll be talking about them. Then later on that day, Paul has very generously offered to bring an episode of Happy Families, the Ben Elton written sitcom that Paul produced and directed shortly after the Young Ones. And there's an episode that features Rick prominently, and we're going to be screening that from 6 to 7. So we're going to have the screening, and then Paul's going to do a Q&A afterwards talking all about it. And then the next night, on Sunday, the 31st of May, we're going to be doing the Talking Bottom pub quiz at the Old Cock Inn, which is a pub we went to last year, and they were very good to us.
Just right opposite the theatre,
yeah.
Great pub, really nice pub, really nice people.
Yeah, we're looking forward to being back at the Rick Mel Fest.
Yeah.
The 2nd year, the second coming. Yeah, no, it'd be great. So have we got a website link for that yet?
In the comments, you'll be able to find all the information for that. It'll be linked somewhere.
Yeah, we'll be putting it out on our socials. We look
Google
forward
it.
to seeing everyone there if you can make it. Get your
Yeah.
blouses off.
And tickets do sell out pretty quick, so if you are interested.
Keep an eye out. We're delighted to be going back to the festival. It was great last year in Droitwich.
brilliant,
Just
yeah.
walking around was really fun, wasn't it? To know that it was like kind of where Rick grew up. And meeting like-minded Rick fans is always a pleasure.
Yeah, it just felt like everyone was smiling all the time. You know what I mean? It felt like, I'm not into sport at all, but like during the Olympics when it was in London, everyone was in a good mood. It felt like that kind of vibe. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I wasn't in a good mood when the Olympics was
No?
here. It was too many people.
Yeah.
I missed several buses. It was a nightmare trying to get home most nights.
Everywhere, the nation felt optimistic at that point.
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, right. I missed that. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Bye.